We talked about this issue, and I want to bring in Congressman Luis Gutierrez, Democrat from Illinois, to talk about this presidential directive and what is going to happen tomorrow, that for the first time in many, many years, 1.8, 1.9, who knows how many thousands of young kids that know no other country but the United States are going to be able to come out from under the shadows. Congressman, tell us a little bit about what you feel. How important is this tomorrow?
Well, I think it's going to be immensely important, Jose, tomorrow. At Navy Pier in Chicago, we have 5,000 people that have already signed up to get information, see what universities they can attend, actually fill out the form for deferred action so they can get a work permit, they can get a Social Security card, and obviously a driver's license and get to work and use the education that they've received here in America and get to work. My office, Jose, I wish, the best example is all 6 lines are lit up. One goes up, another one. I already have an activity at Benito Juarez High School in Pilsen here in Chicago next Tuesday because there are so many people that need help filling out those forms. The enthusiasm level is huge.
You know, Congressman, I want to talk a little bit about this with you because no one knows more about this subject than you do, I may add. But, you know, one of the things that this program does is it tells young people who are not on the radar screen of ICE and INS to come out for the first time. They're not facing deportation processes at all, and say, I was here before I was 16. So what they have to do is, to a government that has deported 1.5 million people over the last 3 years, say, yes, I'm here, and my parents, who do not fall within the parameters of this executive order, are undocumented. Is there a danger? Is there a fear in the community that by giving up their parents, they may be being the snitches?
Right. Well, there should not be a fear because the information, the confidentiality in the information on that application is to be used solely to determine whether the applicant is eligible for deferred action. Number one, there is, Jose, a fear that that can happen. And it's founded because you and I both know when you deport millions of people over the last 3.5 years, and that's kind of the mindset of a community. When something like this comes forward, there is some cautious and fear. But I've got to tell you, the young people in the Dream community, they're coming out. They're going to set examples here in Chicago, and I know other places, and I think you're going to see that fear dissipate as they see people get their work permits. So it's a work in progress. Tomorrow's going to be an excellent beginning. I posted today 10 reasons why people should come out and file tomorrow. Don't be afraid. And I met a beautiful young lady at the grocery store Sunday. She cried when I told her she was eligible, and she's coming by my office tomorrow to fill out the forms. I meet dreamers every day. They're so excited. But there is that level of fear.
And some say it's extremely complicated to actually prove you were here before you're 16. That, you know,
yeah, and so what the kids are doing is they're going to their 8th grade classes. They're getting their transcripts from elementary school. They're getting their birth certificates from their country of origin, whether it's Ireland or Mexico or Guatemala, getting their birth certificates, and they're getting their high school certificates. So transcripts are readily available, and they kind of make sure those transcripts kind of tell us when you were in the United States and whether you were here before you were 16 or not. So there's going to be a lot of documentation that they're going to be able to get that's readily available to them. But you've got to translate the birth certificate from the country to English. You've got to get photos. But you know what? There are a lot of people that really want to help them, and there is going to be this infrastructure that's being developed across this country.
Congressman, real quick, why do you think that neither Democrats nor Republicans can get their you-know-what together on Capitol Hill to put forth some form of comprehensive immigration reform that both political parties can agree on? What's going on?
Well, you know what? I have to tell you, I think that Democrats have to understand that we need guest worker programs, that we need to provide businesses with the kinds of workers that they need to make America strong. And the Republican Party is just going to have to get over the fact that, look, people aren't going to self-deport. They're here. They have long-standing roots in the community, American citizen children, and that they're good for the economy. So, you know, we're going to have to get them back at the table. And my hope, Jose, and I know the hope of most Americans who understand that this issue should be resolved, is that we can have a bipartisan approach to it after the election. It's not going to happen before then. In the meantime, I'm going to sign up as many hundreds of thousands and millions of young men and women, bring them out of the shadows and sign them up and show America there's nothing to be afraid of. When you see them working, when you see them integrated in your community, I think it's going to be a blessing for all of America.
Congressman Luis Gutierrez of Illinois, thank you, sir, for being with us.
Thank you, Jose.
Coming up,